Okay, let's go over the mind of a banker. Now, throughout the first section of this program, we've already dived into a lot of what makes up the mindset of a banker and someone who's going to use this model to be ultra successful with. There's a few other things that I want to dive into in a bit more detail. And again, I've already alluded to these, but I want to go into more explanation. So, the whole concept of being selfish and eating first, it's something that's going to be, I keep saying these things ad nauseum. All of these things are vitally important, but this is of the utmost importance. You being selfish. You being selfish. So, what do I mean by you eating first? Look, the success rate on a capital advisory placement deal transaction that an investment bank is helping a company raise money. Industry average success rate is 4%. That's 1 in 25 transactions. And at the end of the day, so long as you fulfill on your contractual obligations, which is you doing the work to find the investors, to build up the program, to contact the investors, attempt to get meetings, get some meetings, that is what your job is. Attempt to sell the deal even. That is all you are there to do. You are selling the idea that they're going to get the transaction done, but at the end of the day, there's so many factors that come into the equation that you can't possibly get every single deal done. Especially if you're going to be focused on getting as many deals in as you possibly can. If you start being very selective with the ones that you bring on, then it's a different story. But this idea of eating first, being selfish, you are going to get yours. You need to have this within yourself. You need to be okay with putting yourself ahead of everyone else. So we need to start there, okay? Because that's a part of the foundation of the mindset of a banker. Depending on what kind of business you ran before this, if you ran an agency, you very likely had very bad clients. And what makes a good engagement if you're a marketing agency? It's the company that you're marketing. You're doing the exact same thing for a good deal as you are for a bad deal. All right? You need to be okay with this. Now, selfish. You need to start saying no. Say no to everything you possibly can. Your focus is what allows you to apply a force multiplier to any effort and energy you put into a specific task. So if you're putting 5 units of energy into something and they're dispersed in a few different directions, you're getting less output in each direction than if you focus them into a singular point. And moreover, when you apply focus, you actually increase the sum of all the units of energy that you're putting into something. There's an exponential effect that occurs when you apply focus. And focus isn't doing more. Focus is doing less. So start saying no. Become accustomed and okay with saying no to opportunities, to things in your social life, to things with family, people trying to get your help and assistance. You need to go through a season of putting yourself first. So whether that's you going out to social occasions, you need to start saying no to those. If you're in a relationship, you need to start limiting the time that you have spent in the relationship. Business ideas and opportunities, start saying no to those. Even if you think that you're going to be making money with them. If you're running a business currently and you can see that this model is something that you want to be taking and running with, then what you should be doing is seeing how you can transition as quickly as possible, or how you can place a team and remove yourself as much as you humanly can. And moreover than that, you got to be able to shut things down that potentially are making you money, or say no to things that you can see you could absolutely be making money with in the short term. Because focus is about doing less. It's about condensing the amount of energy into a singular point, into one thing. Because every single successful student has only worked on their firm. If they had anything else, they got rid of it as soon as they were making equal or a little bit less than the amount of money they were making with that previous venture. So that needs to be something that you understand. This is not a part-time or even a full-time occupation or job or something that you're going to be putting energy into. It goes beyond that. It requires you to be waking up early, working until you go to the gym, coming back home, eating at your desk, and working until the time you go to sleep. And at least doing that until you get everything set up. And then you can start, taking more time for yourself. So that I want to touch on, okay? Because you being selfish, I mean, fuck. At the end of the day, the mindset thing is really just that. You're going to get yours. You're going to commit to excellence. You're going to go through, all the material we give you, continue learning, finding new people to learn from, and be open to new experience and to new information, and put yourself into a time in your life where you're going to be in a massive expansion mode. All right. Now, in terms of how you want to approach the deals, right? The mindset that goes into the deals. You always want to be looking at it through the prism of you have a finite amount of energy. And whether you're working on a large transaction or a small transaction, the problems within those transactions and deals are going to require the same amount of time and the same amount of energy to accomplish and to solve. So always look at the deals that you are going to be bringing on, and you need to be able to discern whether it's worth you putting your energy into. If you have a deal that comes across your desk and you know that it's not going to be something that is going to be worth your time seeing all the way through, be okay with making it a tier 3 client, like we discussed. So you can focus on just the deals that matter. Okay? Because again, the problems at the $1 million range require the same amount of effort to solve as the ones at the $100 or $1 billion range. And the irony is, when you go up market, regardless of whatever industry you're in, when you go up market, the problems actually become easier to solve. And when you have something that's very high up in the value chain or in the market, it becomes easier to sell as well. So don't let big numbers deter you from thinking that you're capable of accomplishing the transaction, because a solidified fund or a business that's already at their Series C and they're raising 100 million or 50 million or what have you, those transactions are going to be easier to sell. Why? Because they're already solidified. They already have a proven model. They're already generating cash flow, generating profit. There's something that's actually there for an investor to see and be like, okay, I'm gonna make a return from this very, very confidently. Or if you go into another avenue, M&A, etc., it's easier to work on a transaction that's in the $50 million range than at the $1 to $5 million range. So keep that in mind, okay? It requires the same amount of energy whether you're dealing with small problems or big problems. So In terms of structuring your day and how to stay organized, because this goes into your mindset and adjacent tactics and principles, I'm going to do another video where I dive into how I approach staying organized, making sure that I'm getting everything done, and really having some railroad tracks that I can use, and guardrails that I can use to make sure that I'm going in the direction that I need to be going and that I'm not losing any tasks in the wayside. Okay, so let's dive into that.